everybody. Welcome to our webinar today. We're very excited to chat about the Instagram algorithm. I feel like every time I chat with our community or do a survey, the algorithm is always like one of the main things that are the most annoying about the social media industry. So I'm very excited to dive into this today, and especially the Instagram algorithm, because I find this one tends to change every now and then.
Got to try to please the algorithm gods,
Yes, you just have to get lucky, but we do have some good tips in here today to help with the Instagram algorithm. So I'm very excited, and yeah, we can get right into it. And before we begin, let us know in the chat where you're calling from.
And also happy Thanksgiving to our American friends. I hope we don't see any American friends here, but if you are, we are also grateful. But I hope that you take time to unplug because this is recorded, so we'll be posting it to YouTube later as well.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, Brazil, nice. Toronto, love it. Hawaii, very jealous. Amazing. Awesome. Well, keep sharing in the chat. I love seeing where everyone is calling from, and we will get right into it. So just in case this is your very first webinar with us, we are HeyOrca. So HeyOrca is a social media scheduler your team will actually love. And something cool about HeyOrca is we have a few features that can really help with your Instagram SEO. So I'm going to pass it over to Joe, and he's going to give you a little peek at them.
Awesome. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to share my screen. And Katya, if you could share the roadmap as well. If you guys want to see what we're planning for the rest of the year, you can take a look in a public roadmap. So I'm just going to share my screen. Cool. Are you guys seeing it right now?
Yep.
All right, awesome. So in HeyOrca, there are a couple features that I want to show you where you're able to really optimize your Instagram presence. So the first one is the hashtag library. So over here, I have my reels that I'm going to pop up here. So the first thing is the hashtag library. So in HeyOrca, if you click on the text field here, if you don't know already, there's a hashtag icon right here. And so this is where you're able to save all of your hashtags that you're going to be using. So we know that hashtags are still important. Let us know if you still believe in hashtags. They were really, really important. I think they're still very important to allow you to be discoverable on Instagram. And with HeyOrca, you'll be able to save all of your hashtags in a bank in our library and be able to group them by groups as well. So over here, I have my HeyOrca one and my Twitter and so forth. So again, you'll be able to group all of them here. And instead of having to type them up individually, you'll be able to just click on it, and HeyOrca will then insert the hashtags for you over here. And it also remembers the hashtag that you use. So over here, I can say, take back your day, for example, and it will just auto-suggest that hashtag. So that's one feature that if you haven't used it, I would encourage you to take time to organize your hashtag and just save them in a group, and then you'll be able to then use that in your captions. Okay, so that's one. And also, side note, we are working on hashtag suggestions. So very, 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 very soon, you'll be able to generate Instagram hashtag suggestions in HeyOrca. So more on that later on. The other thing that I want to show you that's coming up real soon is you are able to invite collaborators to HeyOrca. So sorry, not HeyOrca, your Instagram posts right from HeyOrca. So if you click on the tag symbol here on the bottom left, so I have a reel here, so I can click on that tag symbol. You'll notice over here you have a couple of options. You have user tagging, collaborators, and product tagging. So user tagging allows you to just tag the person in your video, but very, very soon, you'll be able to invite collaborators. So a collab post is obviously very, very helpful if you're wanting to collaborate with another brand and have that show up in your feed. This is really awesome. And HeyOrca currently will allow you to tag up to 5 collaborators, I believe, right from HeyOrca. So over here, I can click invite collaborator. and I can invite, let's say, my personal account, Joe Teo, and then click invite. And HeyOrca will invite the collaborators once it goes live. So HeyOrca handles the direct publishing and the collab, and this will help you gain more visibility as well in your collaborators' audience. Okay. And lastly, over here, you have product tagging as well. So if you do have an e-commerce store set up on Instagram, you are able to access your product catalog right from HeyOrca, right from here. Okay. So I am going to exit out of this. And the last tip I would say is that with HeyOrca, you do have access to your grid feature right here. So you'll be able to arrange that really easily right from the HeyOrca page. So making sure that you have the aesthetic that you like. And when people come over, it's optimized for how you're branding yourself. So that's all on HeyOrca, and you can do that right here. So hopefully, if you're a HeyOrca user, you learned a few things from this tour. And if you have any questions, just let us know. Also, if you do want access to the collab feature to test it out, we can provide you early access. Just let us know in the comment, and we'll reach out in a bit.
Cool. Thanks, Go. I just said Go, not Joe. Thanks, Joe. And thanks for showing all those features. So many good ones for Instagram. I feel like grouping all your hashtags together can save so much time. So definitely check those out if you haven't already. And we'll get into some intros. So my name is Alyssa, and I'm a community manager here at HeyOrca. So I work on our webinars, our newsletter, our Facebook group, all that good stuff. And I'll pass it over to Joe.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I'm Joe. I should have introduced myself, but I'm the co-founder and CEO of HeyOrca. And I work with Ketsia and Alyssa every single day as well in our community. So I'm really looking forward to this webinar with you guys. I'll pass it over to Ketsia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ketsia, and I'm the social media community manager here at HeyOrca. I work with creators and I do the social media. So every time you see anyone comment back to you, that's me. I'm the one commenting back. So yeah, I love chatting with you guys. So make sure to follow us on socials and we can chat over there.
Yes.
Just you mentioned Chief Executive Orca. That's what I call myself internally, actually on my LinkedIn profile as well. Yeah, really glad to have Ketsia back. She came back from Mexico after a couple months there. So I think she's still adjusting to the cold here in Canada.
Yes.
All right. Oh, and shout out to Jessie in the chat as well. She is our growth marketing manager. So thank you, Jessie, for being here with us. Awesome. So if you need closed captions for this webinar, we do have some instructions on the screen here. So you can turn it on in Chrome by going to your settings, or if you're on a Mac, you can go to your system settings as well. And the closed captions will also be on YouTube. So when we put this on YouTube, you will see closed captions there. And before we get into our poll, I do want to mention we do have a newsletter. It goes out Monday to Friday. I'm biased. I think it's pretty helpful. But if you want to join our newsletter list, we can put the link in the chat. And we also have a Facebook group for social media managers as well. So we'll put those links in the chat if you're interested in joining. And if this is your first webinar with us, we do love to do giveaways. So we have an awesome giveaway, actually 2 giveaways. We are going to be giving away merch points to our store. So we have a merch store filled with awesome HeyOrca merch and then also some snacks because everyone loves getting snacks. So it's an awesome store and we're going to be giving out points for the store. So the first winner we'll be grabbing from our Instagram poll. So we have a poll question on the screen here. Head to our Instagram stories, vote on that poll, and I will be randomly selecting somebody that voted at the end of the webinar. And then the second way to win, merch points, if you're a HeyOrca customer, let us know in the chat, what is your favorite HeyOrca Instagram feature? We have quite a few in there. Joe showed you a couple, but if you're a customer, let us know which one is your favorite, maybe what one you use most. Let us know in the chat. And I'll be randomly selecting someone at the end. So stay tuned. And before we get into it, we have webinars every single week. And actually next week is our last one for 2024, which is crazy. So it's going to be a really fun one. The whole marketing team will be on the webinar, which is really exciting. And so we're going to be going over the best of 2023. So the best social trends, the best social updates. And then we're also going to be going over what's in store for 2024. So going over some predictions that we have, different things like that. So if you want to join the fun next week, you can scan the QR code on the screen, or we can put the registration link in the chat. So definitely join us for that one. All right, so we're going to dive right into it today. We have a lot of information to go over, and the Instagram algorithm is a tricky one. So we're going to dive into it. So today we're going to be going over exactly how the Instagram algorithm works, and then we're going to give you some SEO tips to help rank higher in the algorithm, and then some engagement strategies, because engagement is also huge for ranking your content as well. So we are going to get right into it. All right, so I think everyone here knows what an algorithm is, but an algorithm essentially determines how your content ranks on a social platform. And so something fun about Instagram is they have multiple algorithms. So all their algorithms are just slightly different. We have stories, feed posts, explore page, and reels. So 4 different algorithms in one app. It can be a lot to keep track of. Luckily, they share some similarities, but they do differ a little bit between each area. So I am going to get into each area and how their algorithm works. So first we'll start with feed. So with the feed algorithm, it looks at different signals. So the signals that they look at include your activity. So what content are you liking or sharing, sending to somebody, saving? They're looking at everything that you do on Instagram. And then they're also looking at information about the post that's being posted. So this can be things like the actual content of the post, the location of the post, how many likes and comments it has, and how quickly it's getting likes and comments as well. And then, of course, it looks at the person who posted it. So how many followers you have in common with them, how many times have you interacted with their stuff in the past. And I noticed when I was reading up on this, it looks at your interactions over the past few weeks. So kind of more recent interactions. So if it's someone you interacted with maybe a year ago and then never again, it's not going to rank very high. So it looks at that recent interaction. And then your history. So same sort of thing. When did you like their post last? When did they like yours? So it's really the feed is really based on your activity. So whatever you're interacting with, that's what it's going to show you first. And then a little reminder here. So if you don't like the feed algorithm, you do have the option to go to the following feed. There's following feed and favorites feeds. You can see that in chronological order. So if you're finding you're really missing a lot of content that maybe some of your friends are posting, you can go there and find it maybe a little bit easier. I always forget that those feeds exist. I never really go to them, but they are there if you want them. All right, so now we're going to go to the Reels algorithm. So this is slightly similar to the feed, but there are a few differences. So based on your activity, just like feed, so same sort of thing. What Reels are you commenting on, sending to your friends, saving, liking, all that sort of stuff. And then they also look at the history of the person who posted it. So if it's someone that you're always liking their content, of course, it's going to show that reel higher than some other content. And then the one thing that's different with Reels is it looks at the information about that reel. So what audio is attached to it, if there's any, what special effects did you use or filters did you use within your reel, and then the actual content of that reel. And then if it has a topic in it as well, which we'll get into topics in a little bit. So it looks at that content and sees, okay, is this a video that Alyssa would watch? Because she's watched similar ones in the past. So slightly different than feed. So it looks at more so like the audio and content of it. And then information about the person who posted. So with Reels, it's interesting because a lot of the Reels that you're discovering are usually put out by people who you don't know. So it's somebody who just made a cool video that kind of resonates with the content you usually look at. So it could be someone completely random. So it does actually look at the popularity of that Reel, looks at that person, their follower count, and then sees also if you've actually interacted with them before. But it can show you people who you've never interacted with if the content of that video aligns with content you've liked before. So it's a little bit different there. It kind of weighs a little bit more on popularity compared to the feed post. And now we'll get into stories, which is kind of a completely different algorithm than the last two. So for Instagram stories, it looks at 3 different signals: viewing history, engagement history, and closeness. So viewing history looks at, have you looked at this person's story in the past few weeks? So if you've looked at it, it's going to rank a little bit higher than someone's story who you haven't looked at in months. And then engagement history. So not only did you view that story, but you interacted with them before. So you liked the story, maybe you sent them a DM from their story. So it looks like that. And then closeness. So say I have someone I'm following who I have a lot of mutual friends with, but maybe I don't interact with them too often. It will still show me their story closer. So it kind of depends how many mutual people you're following, and it kind of shows Instagram, oh, like this person might care about this person's story because they share a lot of the same followers. So it does look at that as well. And a little tip, doing different stories for your brand that are interactive, like polls and different things like that, are great because it hits 2 of those 3 signals. So people are looking at it, but then people are also interacting with it. So since they're doing 2 of the 3 signals, your stories will appear closer for them over the next few weeks. So always do polls and fun little interactive things because it really, really helps with your ranking.
This makes sense now. Where Katya, you always leave like a sticker for people to hit.
Yeah.
Like today is the turkey sticker, so makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, always good to have that little element of engagement because it can really help.
And place it near the thumb as well. That's what Katya does.
Yes.
Like on the bottom right, I think that's your strategy, Katya. So it's like super easy to hit it.
Joe, I love the thumbs up. I still don't have that. I think it's because I'm on Windows, but I don't have the like AI thumbs up. But yeah, that's also a really good tip. Put those stickers or different engagement pieces close to where your thumb would be. Very good tip. All right, so now we'll do the Explore page. So the Explore page is kind of similar to the Reels algorithm in a way. So it looks at the information about that post. So again, is this content that is similar to content that you've interacted with before? Because that Explore page, you may know some of the accounts, but a lot of it is, Instagram wanting you to explore new accounts. So it really looks at that common content piece. Is this something that you're interested in? And then also it looks at your activities. So when you've gone to the Explore page, what kind of content have you actually liked? Or maybe you followed someone from the Explore page, maybe you shared something. So it looks at that. And then similar to the other ones, your history with interacting with that person as well. So have you liked their stuff in the past? And then information about the person who posted. So this is kind of the same as before, kind of the same as Reels, where this looks at popularity. So this will look at how popular is this post, how fast are people liking this post after it was posted, follower count kind of matters here in the Explore page. Because if you notice on your explore page, it's never really showing you a post that maybe the content's really good, but the like count is really low. So it really looks at that immediate engagement on an image and that actual person that posted it. Do they have a lot of followers? Are they popular? And this kind of ties into why engagement is so important on Instagram. If you can get that engagement right away when you're posted, that really helps with your ranking. All right. So that's how every different area of Instagram works. They all have similarities, but they all have like one little thing different about them. Of course, Instagram can't just make it all the same. It all has to be slightly different. But if you're somebody who really isn't enjoying your feed, maybe you're not seeing stuff you want to do, there are a few tips for you to kind of help you with this. Adding accounts to your favorites list or close friends. This is essentially you telling Instagram, these are the accounts that I like. These are the accounts I always want to see ranking higher. And then if you want to take a break from recommendations, you actually can snooze that as well. You can do that by, I think, going to that recommended post, going to those 3 dots, and you can snooze it for 30 days. So if you're annoyed by that on your feed, you can snooze it. And then always tell Instagram if there are people that you don't like. So if you want to mute people or unfollow people, do it, because that tells Instagram, okay, you don't like this kind of content or you don't like this person's posts. So always try to let Instagram know what you want to see, and it will help your algorithm a little bit. All right, so I'm going to now pass it to Ketsia, who has some awesome tips to help you rank higher in the algorithm.
Hi, everyone, again. This is my cue. But I think it's very important that we always optimize our accounts or whatever we're doing, like on Instagram, accounts, our posts, everything, that it's always optimized. So usually within your captions, it's really important to be able to add as many keywords or relevant keywords in there. I personally like, sometimes when I use the AI feature on HeyOrca, I like to use the keyword section where you can kind of say like, hey, these are the keywords that I would like for you to use within the caption. So that can like make it a little bit less awkward. Also, another tip is to obviously use alt text as well. There are websites and platforms where you can actually look up keywords and see how they rank. I had one, but I completely forgot what it's called. So if you guys have any, websites or platforms that you use in order to find keywords and see rankings, please share them in the chat. I had one, but I don't know why. I can't come up with it every single time I think about it. So I hope that someone in the chat will let us know. In terms of Reels, you can now add topics, which is really cool. You can kind of, add topics so that it could be recommended to the right people. It can be found on the last slide before you post. You can add topics. I personally think they could be adding a little bit more topics, be a little bit more niche, because I feel like they're a little bit too broad. But, it's still a start. It's still pretty good. Yeah, I don't know if anyone here likes to use topics, but if you do, or if you don't, start using them. They actually help sometimes. And then another way to kind of help with SEO, or just to get your content out there, is to collaborate with other people. Use the collab feature, which is coming very soon as well on HeyOrca. But using the collab feature exposes you to so many more people because you're being posted on your feed, but then also on the feed of the other person. So it can really double your reach, depending on the audience size and stuff. You can actually add up to 20 collaborators, which is crazy. 20 people that you can collaborate with is absolutely crazy. We did not know that before.
Yeah, have you seen anyone collab with 20 different accounts yet? I feel like I haven't seen a post with that many on it yet, but that would be crazy. I'd love to see the reach of a post that is collabed with 20 different accounts.
Same. I'd love to have a post where we collaborate with 20 different accounts.
Test it out.
Yeah, and test it out and see how it works. I think that would be really cool. And then also another way to add SEO, it would be to add relevant hashtags. I'm sorry, I'm like reading the comments too. I see Robin said they've never seen more than 5 people. I haven't seen more than 5 either. But yeah, again, adding relevant hashtags is very important. Using keywords, I think now because Instagram is trying to be more SEO friendly, you can actually use specific keywords and already look for posts. But I personally think you still should use hashtags. They still help. From our posts on HeyOrca, we still see people find us through hashtags, for example. So you can add up to 30 hashtags, but Instagram suggests using 3 to 5. So maybe don't get too crazy, even though you can add a lot. Um, then also you have to, like, a tip, I guess, is to steer clear of hashtags that are overly used or have millions of posts attached to it, because with the SEO on Instagram, it's completely different from TikTok when it comes to hashtags, because with the amount of views or like the amount of posts on a hashtag is actually really bad if you try to add yourself, especially depending on your following. So, for example, if you have 1,000 followers and you're trying to use 1 million, like a hashtag with over 1 million, doesn't really work. A tip I do have is look at accounts that you would like to kind of engage with your content and look at the hashtags that they're following. Because when you look up hashtags, you can see, like, okay, this person follows this hashtag, and start incorporating that in your content, because then you might pop up on other people's feeds just through the hashtag. So
That's a good hack. And Kate has a question. Are you able to add collabs after the fact now? I just checked because we just did a collab post this morning. And if you will go and edit your content, you are able to add more people after the fact as well. So if someone can fact check me, let me know. But it seems like you are able to do that, Kate. And we have another question by Alex here. Is that total hashtags even in comments or just in the caption itself?
it's, I think, oh,
Go ahead, Katia.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it's both, because, for example, we use hashtags in the comment section instead of putting it right in the description box.
Yeah.
So yeah, be mindful, because I think if you add too many hashtags, it could kind of be spammed as flagged as spam. So find a nice middle ground.
And Estefania has a question as well. What do you recommend? Generic hashtag or do you go for more niche?
I personally think going niche is really good, because when you go nicher, you're actually hitting a specific community instead of just, super broad. So, for example, like back when I was doing content creation and I was, being a micro influencer or whatever, I had very niche hashtags I would use so that other people like me could follow me. And that was kind of like within that community. So if you can find specific hashtags that are within your community, let's say you do higher education and higher ed has a specific hashtag, use that hashtag, because you can find your own people in your own community. And then maybe 1 or 2 broader ones, just in general.
Robin made a point. Insta does not let me add collaborators to a post after it goes up. I don't know if you can add a collaborator after it's gone up.
Yeah, that's so maybe if I can just show.
Yeah.
I'm not
Because
sure
personally,
if you
I
guys
haven't been
can see.
able to do it.
Yeah.
Probably can't. But I can. I'll show you guys later when we stop sharing. But there is a section that says tag another person, so I can add another person. So I'll try it while we go through the presentation, and I'll confirm that with you in a bit.
Oh, and one other thing I'll mention, I think the increase to 20 collaborators is kind of a recent change. And with Instagram, they do very slow rollouts. So if you're not seeing the ability to add 20 at the moment, you will be able to. They just like to add things very slowly. So it's coming your way if you don't see it yet.
Yeah. I think there's like one question that I just quickly wanted to answer by Andrea. Is like, how do you see which hashtags an account is following? If you go onto your phone and you go like in your a comment section of your post and you put hashtag and you start writing, it will always say like so and so is following the hashtag at under it. So yeah, it's just like by typing in the hashtag that you know which ones they are following. You can always go onto someone's page and then look at the following, and then you can see hashtags, and then you can see followers as well. So that's kind of how you figure that out. In
Okay,
that sense,
so
I
my
hope this makes
investigation results, and Frederick, you're right. No, you can't. So you can actually add tags, but you can't. You can like edit the tagged people, but you can't add collab. So it's a little bit confusing sometimes, but you are able to add more people that you want to tag, but it's not going to be a collab post. So that's the conclusion of the results so far.
Mhm. Uh, I'll do another wait, maybe because there's still one question regarding hashtags, and I don't want to like just skip over it. But in terms of recommendations for saturations of hashtags that have over 1,000 posts, so I wouldn't go too low because that might be too niche, right? So for example, if the post has less than 100 hashtags, then 100 posts, maybe that's a little bit too low. But depending on the size of your account, for example, like let's say you have 7,000 followers, then 10,000 posts, is still good. And, between kind of 10,000 and 100,000. But once you go over that, it's a little bit too much because you still want to rank, higher. So, yeah, I would look at your audience size and then try to kind of gauge that way. Don't go too low. 10,000 is fine, but don't go too high either. You can still have like one or two big ones. That's kind of my answer regarding that. So another way to kind of improve SEO is to add a location because it can be kind of recommended to the right audience. But if you don't want, for example, your location to be shown into your posts or whatever, because safety reasons, don't post, guys. Please don't post your location while you are at the location. Post it after. That's just for safety reasons. People don't need to know where you are at every second of the day, but you can always slide it off the screen so that people don't know where you are. But then you can still look up like the place, and you can still pop up into the stories and the content and all that stuff. So please stay safe and don't post your exact location. And then in terms of always optimizing your SEO. Obviously, it's really important to track and optimize and see which hashtags or which posts are performing well. So, usually, the rule of thumb would be to take 2 weeks or more to test out a specific hashtag or keyword or track the success, and try different strategies. So, usually, I think personally that you should have like kind of a group hashtag group for specific content, use it for 2 weeks, and then see if it performs well, and always look at your analytics and see, okay, this, if people find you through hashtags or not. That's always really important to do. And Instagram lets you know that. So yeah. Oh, so I'm not sure if there's any questions right now because I'm going to move on to engagement strategies. And I feel like I have a gem. I have a gem when it comes to engagement. But obviously, social media is a social platform, meaning that you have to be social in order to kind of be favored by the algorithm, and also improve your SEO and do all that stuff. So make sure to always respond to comments, please. Even if it's like a day or two later, sometimes things happen. Reply to every single comment. I think that's my rule, is like to reply to every single comment, keep the conversation going. And, you know, when you reply to a comment, you can always ask them a question back so that they come back and answer that question, just so you can keep the engagement going. Engage with other people's content, especially before or after you're going to post. Reactivate those people. I think if, for example, you have a post that did really, really well and you weren't able to answer to every single comment, every single time you post, go back to that post and answer those comments, because then people are reactivated. You're at the top of their notification box. They're probably going to click on your profile and they will see a new post, and they might actually interact with that new post as well. You can be creative. Instagram now has GIFs or GIFs. I don't know how everyone pronounces it, but that's also a great way to reply to comments. I'm going to start doing that. I haven't done it personally, but I think we should all use GIFs in order to reply to comments. You can also post polls. I've tried doing that. I don't know why it's not working for me, but let me know if you have been using polls in your comment section or on your content. I've seen them around and I think they're super, super cool. And you can also highlight positive comments on your stories to spotlight your community as well. It's always great. Instagram now lets you share comments. Again, I do not have the feature yet, which I'm so sad, because I feel like our most recent post definitely deserves some story shares from the comments that you guys are leaving. But I think here's my gem. This is not on the slide, but this is me telling you about engagement. If you want active followers, or people who, when I say active followers, those are people who will comment on your content, go to like similar accounts to yours, or like an account where your target audience would follow, and look at their most recent post that has been posted in the last 24 hours, and go engage with the people who commented on the post. Go like, comment, do all that stuff, because those are active followers. They just commented and replied to a comment. If they are from your target audience, they're probably more likely to follow you anyways and like your content. So start doing that, even if it's competitors, or like if you're a brand, look at competitors or look at complementary brands. So for example, you're a bread brand, go to a butter brand's post, because people who eat bread probably eat butter too. So you can go and find people that way as well. So yeah, always make sure you engage with active followers. That's my little gem. I hope it was a gem because I happed it up a little bit. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, I think Ketsia, your point around the comment section, I think one thing that we're going to see more and more, I mean, we're already seeing this, is that your community in social media is being built in the comment section. And that's why it's so important to engage. But also, I think we're seeing the social media platforms as well creating more tools for comment sections management. So we're seeing polls, you're seeing GIFs, and so forth. So I think, not thinking about it just about replying, but more so you're building a following, you're building an engaged audience. And I think that's what matters.
Yeah. The comment section is the most fun part of everything. Like creating the post is fun, but like knowing that you'll be able to connect with your audience is funner. So yes, 100%.
I think we had one question here. Can we track which hashtag they came through?
Unfortunately not, but there is this platform that I forgot. I told you guys I forgot the name of the platform. I'm so sorry. That actually allows you to do that, where you can track for each post where it's like which hashtag performed the best, where you ranked, and how much and how far you ranked. But I forgot the name of it, so I'm so sorry.
Maybe you can post it in our Facebook group later on.
Yes, I'll look it up because I get emails from them, so I'm going to post in the Facebook group. So make sure you join the Facebook group if you're not there already.
So Alyssa, perhaps we could choose the winner, while maybe we'll go through a couple of questions here. That'll be good.
Yeah, I will get the winners going.
And Katsia, Robin has a question. How can you build engagement if you're managing a relatively new corporate account that isn't generating comments? Any thoughts?
You go and find your people. So that's why I say it's so important to know community hashtags and engage with, like I said, remember, like the active followers. Go to your competitors and go find those people that are already active within their accounts and go comment and engage with them. And I promise you they will engage and comment back onto your content as well.
So actually going to the communities and put yourself out there and start engaging with other people.
Exactly.
Well. Another question around location. If you add a location, let's say Canada, and this is by Shirley, will it only show to people in Canada if you put a location tag in your post?
Not that I know of.
Mhm.
Again, I'm just saying that from my mind and not from facts, but I haven't heard of it only showing to people located in Canada. I think it could be pushed more to people who are located in Canada, but not only show to people
I
who are
think it's
located in Canada.
more likely to show up.
Mhm.
And then if people actually click on the location, your post would show up in that location, but it's not going to block you from other locations, is what I understand.
You can look up, for example, if you look up a specific location, you can click on it and then you can see all the posts from that specific location. So that helps. So, for example, if you're at the bar and you put the location of the bar, you will see all the posts, of that bar.
Kate says no location tags is if someone searches for Canada, then they will see it. Okay, awesome. So we have other people that confirms it as well. So just try it and see, how it affects your results. Maybe we can go to Alyssa for the lucky winners, and then
Yes.
put your comments, questions, guys. Here, we'll come back to them as well if we had time.
Awesome. So I just went to our story, did a random selection of everyone who voted there, and our first merch point winner is Haley Dunk. So Haley,
Congrats, Haley.
you are our first winner. I'll be reaching out to you after this to give you some merch points. And then for the HeyOrca specific merch points, the winner for that is Alexanne Malenfant.
Yes.
Alexanne,
They have a really good tip on publishing notes. You can use publishing notes to save your Instagram stories, Instagram's reel sounds. And when you publish them, you'll be able to actually refer it right from HeyOrca as well. So congrats on that.
Awesome. All right. So yes, Haley and Alexanne, I'll be messaging you after this, and we'll get you your merch store points. So that's exciting.
Last question by Robin. Does editing in third-party apps like CapCut or Splice or Canva impact how Instagram prioritizes your content? What do you say, Katsia?
Unfortunately, yes. That's why I always recommend, even if you edit in third-party apps, always make sure to add captions and all that stuff, kind of add last-minute editing in the original app. That's what I personally do because, it just performs way worse if you do it externally.
Yeah. And I put Adam Mosseri's account there. Not sure if you guys follow him, but I haven't checked his Instagram in a bit, but he does put a lot of Instagram tips, and he does AMA as well, where you can ask him questions. So I would say he's a good person to follow.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, I think we are almost up on time here. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I hope that you walk away from this understanding the Instagram algorithm a little bit better, and fingers crossed they don't change it on us for a while. That would be great. But if they do, we'll do another webinar, so don't worry.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. And looking forward to our last webinar coming up next week. I hope I see you guys, and happy Thanksgiving. If there are any Americans here, hope you log off and have a restful Thanksgiving. But thanks so much for joining us, and shout out to the UK folks as well, because I know it's late. So thanks so much for joining us again for this webinar.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.